Hey everyone, welcome to Movies with Gray. Today I want to go through some Spider-Man No Way Home predictions, things that I think are going to happen or that we're going to see in this movie that I'm very excited to talk about. So stay tuned and let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm just going to have to address off the bat, because obviously it is the big rumour. It's been going around for, a year and a half now? I believe Andrew and Toby are going to be in this movie. Initially, when this idea was floated around, when the rumour was first suggested, I hated the idea. I don't mind there being multiple Spider-Men or people, whatever, if it was a Miles Morales or something. I didn't like the idea of going, let's have these three different Peter Parkers. Something about it seemed weird to me. I always just found the idea strange. I thought if you would have another Peter Parker, wouldn't it still be Tom Holland? I don't know. But that was just my thinking. I have grown to like the idea over time. I am now again, look, it is entirely possible that they will not be in that movie. That is not confirmed, but I believe they will be, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I have grown accustomed to the idea. I think it could be kind of fun. We've had this character have all these different iterations over almost 20 years now. I think it could be fun to see them all together. And at this point, with what Marvel is setting up with the multiverse and everything, why not? Why do I think they're going to be in this movie? We know for a fact, we've seen this in the trailer we've already had, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is back. They've automatically kind of set, I don't know if you want to call it a precedent, even just within this movie, that we're seeing characters from these other universes appear. We haven't seen this officially, but we have been told, it has been confirmed. Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. Again, someone else, so we've got someone appearing from the Maguire universe, we've got someone appearing from the Garfield universe. At that point, wouldn't you just have them come in? Surely, you'd have the actual Spider-Man come in? I would have to think so. And of course Green Goblin as well, who, granted, I don't believe, as far as I know, I don't actually think there has been official confirmation of a Willem Dafoe coming back as Green Goblin, but we saw the pumpkin bomb, we heard the laugh in the first trailer that sounded very much like him, so surely he is. With that happening, I think, yeah, you're gonna bring back Andrew and Toby. If you're bringing the villains in, why not? It would be kind of weird as well. Why would you bring those villains in if you're not going to bring in the Spider-Man from those respective universes? The other main reason is we know there is a multiverse. They mention in the trailer, they do mention the word multiverse. They've obviously set it up. The next Doctor Strange movie is called In the Multiverse of Madness. We know all of that is happening. So I believe, why not combine all these characters? These ideas that I'm mentioning now are also kind of maybe going to bleed into other predictions I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I really think we're going to see the classic Green Goblin as well. I don't think we're going to see Green Goblin from, 2002? The 2002 movie, as in that particular costume. I think we will see the classic, green and purple, maybe with the little almost handbag looking thing. The reason I think this is because 2002, in terms of comic book movies, was a very different time to now. We are in the era of a lot of very comic accurate things, especially costumes. And I think if they're going to bring in these characters again, why not have some fun with it and just, look, it's obviously going to be very fan servicey as it is. Go all the way. I believe we are going to see that classic version of the Green Goblin costume. And again, this would make, if they did or didn't, it would make no difference to the movie or the story or anything. I think it would just be fun to see, and I just believe that they're going to do this because if we're doing multiverse, it's obviously very fan servicey as it is. Let's just go all the way with it. There is a moment in the first No Way Home trailer that we've got, and a lot of people have speculated, it's kind of like this big shadowy figure, and a lot of people said it's the lizard. Some people have said it is the scorpion, I think. It's hard to say, and it could. I think some people even said venom. It's really hard to see what it actually is. I think that if we were going to get Lizard in this movie, I believe that we get Dylan Baker, the original Curt Connors from the Raimi trilogy. Going back ages, when there was going to be a Spider-Man 4, I believe the plan was... Well, there was... I don't know if these were different ideas or if this was all going to be in the one movie. There was John Malkovich's Vulture was like the one big idea. And the other thing was you were going to get a version of the Lizard, which would have been Dylan Baker. The fact that we never got to see that, and we've seen Rhys Ifans' however you say it, version, and I don't mind. I like that movie and I like that character. But I think they're going to give us something new here. Because we have another Curt Connors who never got his time to shine as this character. Let's do it now. I honestly kind of believe we're going to see him. And again, I think if we do, if we get a Lizard at all, like the Green Goblin, I think we're going to get more of a classic look, you know, the longer snout, probably a lab coat on a lot of the time. Again, purely fan servicey. While I had no real issue with the Lizard that we got in The Amazing Spider-Man, but obviously, you know, he looked very weird. He didn't look like what you'd expect. I understand making the change for the movie, but I believe we will get something different. So a lot of people are thinking that we're going to get Miles Morales in this movie. I don't want that to happen yet. I want to see a Miles Morales, I do. I just don't want him to come into this movie yet. I thought maybe if we have Tom Holland... Well, this is of course assuming Tom Holland is going to stay as Peter Parker Spider-Man for a while. That we would have at least maybe another movie. Or maybe in number 4, Miles Morales is introduced. So then he can maybe even take over in Spider-Man 4, or 5 or 6. I just want to see a bit more with this Tom Holland Peter Parker before we shift focus to Miles. I want to have him eventually. I don't want him in this movie. If we get him in this movie, I think it's going to be a post-credit scene. Very small part otherwise. I don't think he's going to be a big part of this movie. And granted, I think there are a lot of potential characters that are not going to be a big part of this movie. I don't think Alfred Molina is going to be in this movie much at all. He could very well be in it for one scene. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't actually think we will get Miles Morales. I don't want us to yet. Again, I want to see him in future movies, just not yet. But someone else I think that could pop up into this movie, and the reason I think this is more likely than a Miles Morales is because there's no one cast as Miles Morales yet. Well, as far as we know, we've never seen a Miles in another movie. What we have seen is Gwen Stacy. I really think Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen is a very real possibility. Very popular character now. People have wanted to see this for a while. I know people are very interested in a Emma Stone Spider-Gwen as well. I've seen a lot of fan art for that before. Again, you're bringing back Jamie Foxx, you're bringing back Alfred Molina and all these people. I reckon they could absolutely bring back Emma Stone in some way as Spider-Gwen. Again, it could be for one scene. It could be this is it and done. We never see her again. I don't know. But I do honestly believe we are going to see her in this movie in some capacity. Purely because so much of this movie seems to be... And now again, especially with the Andrew and Toby thing not confirmed, we don't know this for a fact, but what it appears to be with this movie is that there's a lot of fan service involved, and that makes me think, okay, well, what else do people want to see? I think they want to see Spider-Gwen. I think they're going to bring this. They want to see Emma Stone, I think, as Spider-Gwen. They're going to bring that in. I could be wrong, and that's fine. Look, and by the way, everything I'm saying, just what I think is very possible or even likely. Some things that I want to see. If they don't do this, fine. I just want a good movie is the first thing. But if we get these fan servicey things, great, that would be awesome. Spider-Gwen, I think, would be cool. I think it would be fun. Again, it could be very well one scene. She could show up at the beginning and stay the whole movie. I don't know. Either way, I think that could be really interesting. Another big thing going around, are we going to get like a multiversal Sinister Six here? I mean, again, we got Doc Ock, we've got Electro, we've got potentially, Lizard or Scorpion or something. Are we going to get, finally, a Sinister Six from different, each of these characters from different multiverses, which could be very interesting. Personally, I'm not sure. Because going back before the whole MCU Spider-Man version that we've got now, there was plans to do a Sinister Six movie from Sony. They were going to do a Venom movie, which they ended up doing, and a Sinister Six movie. I think they still want to do that. I think they still want Sinister Six as a franchise. Now, that doesn't mean they couldn't do it with these multiversal characters, but I kind of believe they want to actually continue to push these, and that could probably include like a Vulture, maybe a Venom, I don't know, depends how they go with him. A Vulture, a Scorpion, a Craven when that eventually comes out, Morbius, things like that. I think that's the direction Sony is probably going to want to go. So I don't actually think we're going to get Sinister Six. I think we're going to get the different villains coming in. But I also think like I said, I think there's a very good chance that a Doc Ock is going to be in there for like 5 minutes and then gone, and then the next villain shows up. This could very well be a matter of hopping through the multiverse. We're going to different places, and that's why, again, I'm thinking you could see a Spider-Gwen for 2 seconds, you could see a Doc Ock for 2 seconds, and blah, blah, blah. We'll see. Either way, I think this could be really interesting. That is all my thoughts, my predictions for this movie. Please let me know, what do you think about any of the things that I've talked about today? Do you think we're going to see classic Green Goblin? Do you think Spider-Man or Tom Holland's going to leave the MCU? Anything like that. If you've got your own predictions, expectations, let me know about that in the comments. I'd love to read them all. Thanks very much for watching. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, keep your eye out for more content coming soon. I'll see you next time.